I am a very much alive person, sitting in Trenching. Thank God, there's sunshine and I'm very happy to be here. My name is Marit Benthe Norheim, and I come from Norway, but I live in Denmark. I tell of myself that I'm a construction worker with metal and concrete as my base, but at the same time I think I'm a storyteller, and I use the material that will be available to explore the stories that I'm going to be telling, whether that's in public space or in gallery space. So I'm actually relating to all sorts of materials. It's a beautiful thing to be invited in as an artist in residence and get a whole floor in a museum with 6 wonderful rooms where I'm allowed to use the space during the 5 weeks in residency. As a basic point, and the core of the exhibition is that's an exhibition I made for the Contemporary Art Center, Nordic Contemporary Art Center in Xiamen in China. The name is Mermaid Hospital. And that is collaboration between my daughter Tonja, who is a composer, and myself. She's been ill for many, many years, and to be able to survive, she's been using the image of the mermaid for hope and longing. And I have been drawing over many years to understand and hold and endure so much suffering from my child. I'm very interested in how myth from all over the world contain a lot of the same elements, and decided to use that in the build-up of this exhibition. And then when I came here, I found all these beautiful transparent plinths in the basement of the gallery, and was allowed to bring them in and use them as basis for the exhibition here that I have found the title for, which is The Soul Castle. I was told about Vodnik, the water spirit of Slovakia. I could feel very strong connections to our Norwegian water spirit Nøkken. When I went into reading about it, of course I came across stories where they told about how the origin of this spirit came to be, of Vodnik luring young women to drown, and he's keeping their souls in cups. The time that these myths were made, a lot of pregnant women who didn't want to bring shame on their families chose to jump in the river and commit suicide instead. It was probably easier to manage for the families to talk about the dark forces luring the women, their daughters, into the river than the real reason for why it happened. And I think it's very exciting then to go in to try to relate to these stories. And I suddenly got this idea of trying to find out about these souls and pay homage to some of these unfortunate souls from this place. I decided to go to some of these pawn shops and buy objects that for some reason have come to be in their possession. I found the objects that talked to me for some reason or another, brought them back to the gallery. I saw these plinths as kind of aquariums that you could look into, and by creating tableaus with these objects, I suddenly felt that I was getting in touch with some of these souls that somehow started to possess me. And I really did feel possessed running from my studio in one part of the building to this part where I'm building up this Soul Castle. And very, very surprisingly, I found symbols on the internet for every one of the objects. One of the objects that I found was, they had quite a few of them, the swan that is made in the glass factories around. I took one of them here and found that the symbol of the swan is actually the soul, the existential self, which I thought was very beautiful, and I decided that would be the kind of starting point of this installation that will be a labyrinth of symbols and of me trying to transform them into personal stories from them being more monotonous symbols to getting the personal story that people could relate to. I think when you enter this room that I call the Soul Castle, in the whole title of it, I want it to be something very beautiful and uplifting. This is what I have tried to do by creating these 18 small tableaus connected to each of these transparent plinths that would be like the building stones of the castle, of things happening in the different rooms, and each of them I have tried to create a story that will be possible to understand in your own way, but in my sense of it, I'm trying to create a release. So it's a labyrinth that you can go through, you can start and end where you want, but altogether the overall feeling of it with the title is one of hoping for people to realize the constructive and uplifting side to the overall story.